Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video we have added our all that orders. So here also I pass all that our order details, right? So now also we have to add our another function. So here better I just copy both of these. So I just copy both of these, and here after this, okay, so after this here I just simply paste it. So that will be in our that position there here. So that means that is actually the main position. So here just simply defining it. So here also we have to pass all that our profile details. So that is also our all that profile details, and that is our shipping details, right? So that is our shipping details. So here that is our profile details. That means which user is currently logged in. So this current user details we have to display it. So if you want to display it, so better first of all you have to define our current. That means our current user. So I just simply define as a current. Okay, current underscore user. Current user means our requested user, right? So that is our requested user. So I just simply defining it. So with this current user we can actually display all that our current user name, email, the address, address to city. So everything we have already defined. If you go to our app logging, if you go to that app logging model, here you can see there is actually the profile. So with this profile we can actually access our full name, the address, city, zip code, and phone, everything. So also here I define our current user, right? So that is our current user. So with this current user, that is our name. So if you want to display that name, that you have to display here. I define our full name. Okay. So I just simply define our current user. So with this current user, if you want to access it, then you have to go to that profile, and with this profile I want to access our this full name. Okay. So I just simply define the profile. So that is our profile, and then I want to access our full name. So our full name as a field name as a full name. So I just simply define that full name, right friend? And also there is an email. So if you want to access that email, it will be just like that same. That means the current user. So I just simply define the current user, and into the current user that will be as a profile. So into the profile, if you go to that model, into the model area, you can see here I didn't define any email, because of all email is actually by default our user. That means here that is actually building one of the field. So if you want to access that building field, here you don't need to add that profile. It should be direct our field name as email. So I just simply define as the email. So that will be our email. That means the current user email address, and also that is our address. So if you want to access that address, it should be in our profile. That means here that is our current user profile, and then in our model, so that is our address one, right? So now I just simply define after this, that will be our address one. And also for the address 2, I want to do the same. I just pass the same things. So I just simply pass our current user profile address 1. Okay. And then the city will be just like that same. Better I just simply copy it here. I paste it. That means the current user profile, and that is actually the city. So I just simply after that I define the city. Okay. And then also there is a postcode. Postcode will be just like that same. I just simply copy it, and it will be the current user profile, and then the postcode, that means the zip code. So I just simply define that zip code, and then our another one as a country. So I just simply define the country, and then our phone number. So I just simply defining it. So that means current country will be our current user profile, that is a country, and that is a phone. So I just simply define as a country, and then current user phone, that will be our field name as a phone. So I just simply after that define that phone. Okay friend, so here I just simply pass all that our current user profile details in our particular data area. And after that, that will be our shipping details. And for the shipping details here I have already defined. If you go our payment, it is the payment. Here you can see that is actually our shipping details. I get all that our billing addresses. So that is our save address. Better I want to add another variable. Okay, I just add another variable as a saved address. I just take it, and into this save address area I want to pass our this one. That means with this object data. So I just simply pass that object data. So now we can actually access directly that is our save addresses. Okay, so into the save addresses area, I just pass that objects for the reasons here. Now we can actually access it with this save address variable. So now I want to use it, so I just simply copy it, and now here, that is all that our shipping details. So that is our shipping to. So shipping to will be our current user. That means that is actually a current user profile full name. So here better I just simply copy it, and here I want to pass it. So in particular that position, I just simply pass it our current user profile full name. Okay, and then also we have to add that address, city, postcard, and everything. As I told you, everything will be comes from our billing details. That means the billing addresses. So here I take that all the data with these saved addresses. If you go to our app payment, into the app payment, if you go to that module, here you can see that is actually our billing address. So into the billing address, that is our user, so that is our address, zip code, the city, and the country. So now I want to pass everything. So here I want to pass everything with our this saved address. So now here that is our shipping to, that is our current user, and the address will be our shape address, and with the save address, our field name will be as a address, right? So I just simply define this address. Okay friend, I think it's very much clear to you. And also we have to define our city will be the same, our save address, and with the save address I want to access our another billing field that will be as a city. So for the city I have defined that field name as a city. So now I just simply define the city, and also the postcode. So that will be as a save address. Better I just copy it. Okay, I just copy it. That will be as a postcode, and that will be as a country. So postcode will be, I name it as a zip code. So now we just simply define as a zip code, and the country, I just simply define that country, and that will be as a country. Right friend? So here we successfully define all that our field. So it's now perfectly detected to our all the profile details, and that is our shipping order billing details, right? So here I define two of this. Perfect. And now after that we have to add our last one, that means here. So with this actually it's confirm it, that means this function is perfectly working or not. So here after this I just simply paste it. Okay, so here I just simply paste it, and then our return render. So that will be our return render. So now if you want to check it, like our response data, what exactly that things actually is showing. So here I define as a print. I want to check it first. I print our this response data. So here I just simply define our response data. Now if you click as a save all, so yeah, server is running well. So now here I just click as a enter, and now if you go to our site, now here you can see it's, that means this return response, that means this response data actually providing that is status is a successful, and also showing our session key is automatically generated on the session key, and that is our gateway. That means our gateway page URL will be this one. Okay, so that will be our gateway URLs. We have to use it. Okay, so we can use it with our this gateway page URL. So better I just simply copy it. So now here we don't need that print, so I just simply remove it. Okay, so into the return response, that means that before I have passed that things with our payment page, so right now we have to pass it in our gateway page URL area. Okay, so for doing this here we don't need this, I just simply remove it. It should be return our redirect. So here I define as a return redirect, and with this response data, so with this response data I want to pass our this gateway. So that is our gateway page URL. Okay, that means that is actually our gateway page URL, so that will be our URL. So now here I just simply pass it. So here I just simply pass it. So now I think everything is very much clear to you. So now let's check this out, our everything is working or not. Click as a save all. So now first of all I check it, everything is running well, and now go back, and now I just simply go to our cart page again. Now click as a process to checkout. So that is our total amount in dollar. So now click as a make a payment. Yes, you can see it's now perfectly loaded our payment gateway. So that is our payment gateway. That is all that our cart system, and also it's now showing our appropriate payable amount, right? So here I have defined that BDT. So better here I would make that things as USD. Okay, I just make that things as a currency will be as a USD currency. So that is our gateway. Now click as a save all. So it will be show our USD. Okay, and also that is our mobile banking. So from here you can define your mobile banking. There is a net banking. Everything is now perfectly loaded on here. So if you go to that mobile and there is our rocket. Okay, so if you click on particular that position, now you can see it's now perfectly showing our amount. So that is our amount is perfectly visible, and that is our OTP details. So that is actually one of the demo account, right? So here we are using some of the demo account, and that is a success. So if you click as a success, then it will be show some of the forbidden message, and into the forbidden message it's now showing as a CSRF validation failed. So by default that is actually one of the post method, right? So here that is the different API. So here we have to minimize our this CSRF. Okay, so here if you want to minimize it, they have also one of the function as a CSRF exempt. So here with this we can actually reduce it, like here. If you want to do that work in our view, into the view area, so after this we have to input something, input one of the function, like that is in our form. So from our Django, so from to the Django, then the views, and from here there is a decorators. Okay, decorators, from to the decorators, that is a CSRF. So that is our CSRF, and from here you have to input one of the function as a CSRF underscore exempt. Okay, so I just simply defining it. Okay, so here we have to add it. That means add this function, and then in our this method, that means here I have defined of the method as a complete method, right? So here you can see after that it's redirected to our payment status. So when it will be redirected to our payment status, then actually is showing our this forbidden message. So here we have to not use that our locking required. Here we have to define our CSRF exempt. So now it should be visible. So if you click as a save all, and now if you refresh it, so now it's showing our another one as a app payment views complete didn't return an HTTP response object. Okay, because of all here I didn't define as a return. Here you can see that is also putting all that our details. That is actually our transaction ID is now showing. That is our valid icon, that valid ID, that means value ID is visible, the amount is visible, that is our card type is visible, every data. So here we get our every data. Okay, so whatever the data you want to actually pass to our this position, then you can pass it. So how can pass it in our next video? I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.